Right now it's 6. A suspect identified in the stabbing death of a Quick Trip employee.
And La Crosse teachers walk in protest of the potential dismantling of the Department of Education.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski.
It's an alert day with lots of snow, sleet, and wind. Let's send it right over to Greg to time it all out.
Yeah, we're pretty much on the later edges of the stages of this storm system as the snow is going to begin to wind down here shortly. But travel conditions could continue overnight as a lot of that moisture, even though the wet conditions right now, could refreeze as temperatures fall below freezing. So that's some of a concern for the Thursday morning commute. A lot of the commute right now is just for snow, wet to slushy conditions. Overall, we kind of zoom in. You can see that is kind of where the road conditions are. It's wet to slushy, depends on snow rate. If it comes down, it improves given that our temperatures are 30 to 34. The top right one image there is Eau Claire. They've had some snow, but overall road conditions are wet. And some of the interstates too have become just wet as the snow has kind of decreased in intensity. Overall, snow amounts for the next several hours. We're not looking at a lot going to about 10 p.m. A lot of it is starting to shift eastward, but still another 1 to 2 inches, potentially 3 as you go further east, especially higher elevations as possible. As we kind of see the snow accumulations already, that little blue area around the area, that is where you're probably getting a 6 to 8, maybe even more. It's along La Crosse to west to just north, but notice Eau Claire drops off very quickly. The whole area shifted just slightly to the south, so they didn't get much of anything up there. These are the temperatures right now. They're still above freezing, which does help for the most part, but you're starting to see that kind of that back edge approach Winona, Eau Claire, and eventually as we kind of time that out, by the time we get to 10, all that will be to the east. We'll be dealing with colder conditions going into Thursday, so later on we'll kind of break down what it looks like for the first day of spring. Our next chance of snow coming later this weekend, and when we might actually see 50 degrees again.
All right, because it's certainly not feeling like the first day of spring.
No, it's not. Last day of winter here.
Definitely not the visual I was thinking of. Thank you, Greg. Well, let's get a look on those road conditions on the ground.
Yep, News 8 Now's Grace Monk is live in the Storm Runner. Grace, where are you? How's it going out there?
Right now we are driving down Jackson Street here in La Crosse. I'm going to go ahead and give you a look at what we're seeing on the roads right now. As you can see, main roads like this have been plowed. They're actually looking better than they did at 5 p.m. The city said they will be plowing these main roads, but some of the side streets, now that's a different story. Concern is really going to be there. They're full of thick snow, heavy snow, so it's really hard to turn on them. So you're going to go down and take your time. As Greg said, we're probably going to see that towards the morning. And if those temperatures drop, it's definitely going to get a little slicker out here as well. But if you're driving on these main roads, it's not too bad. You'll just want to make sure you take your time. We're going to be out here for the rest of the night, so we'll have another update for you tonight at 10.
All right, thank you, Grace. And a reminder, you can track weather on your block by downloading the First Warn weather app. You can find it at the App Store or on Google Play.
News 8 Now has learned that the Politics for Pints Forum is canceled tonight due to today's weather. That event was going to be hosted by AARP Wisconsin, and it was meant to allow voters the ability to ask questions to La Crosse's 2 mayoral candidates.
And a quick reminder, News 8 is hosting a La Crosse mayoral debate, 7 p.m. on Friday, live in our studio. You can watch it on 8.2 and our digital platforms.
A former Sparta pastor pleads no contest to 2 sex crimes to avoid a trial. 47-year-old Travis Becknell is accused of sexual exploitation by a therapist and 4th-degree sexual assault. Back in 2021, a victim reported Becknell inappropriately touched her on 2 separate occasions after church services. Becknell, who was the founding pastor at the former Berean Way Church, initially pleaded not guilty and tried to have the charges dismissed. As part of the plea deal, he will serve 100 hours of community service and undergo treatment for sex offenders. If he breaks any part of the agreement, he faces 30 months in prison.
New details on that fatal employee stabbing inside a Mankato Quick Trip. Police releasing the mugshot of the suspect, 28-year-old Michael Miller. He's accused of stabbing 34-year-old Dennis Vasica inside the Quick Trip on Madison Avenue. It happened yesterday. Police used security footage to identify Miller. He's now facing 2nd-degree murder charges.
Average gas prices across the nation have risen 10 cents a gallon in just the past 24 hours. That's according to AAA. In La Crosse, average prices have risen 16 cents. In Eau Claire, 10 cents. Wisconsin's average up to $2.96 a gallon, 14 cents lower than that national average.
Teachers in La Crosse are showing their support for public schools. This morning, several Logan Middle School teachers participated in a walk-in. The goal, to highlight what could happen if the Department of Education goes away. 7th grade teacher Jesse Martinez organized it.
Really important. The reason that we are doing this is so that our families and our students know, number one, that we support them and that our main goal as educators is to support our students. And number two, the folks that get to make these decisions are the folks that we elect to public office.
Martinez says depending on what Trump does next, there could be more walk-ins.
The UW-La Crosse Police Department is working toward law enforcement excellence. A team from the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Accreditation Group toured the UWL Police Department and reviewed their policies, operations, and services. A public information session today allowed some community members to share their feedback of the department.
Any feedback and input is good for the department, and we can always take that and do better if we feel like, if it seems like there needs to be an improvement made. Otherwise, good feedback is always welcome and always nice to hear.
The department has to meet 274 standards to earn accreditation. Chief Alan Hill says this is key to maintaining professionalism, transparency, and accountability.
6 community volunteers are competing to be this year's La Crosse Symphony Orchestra Conductor Wannabe. The winner of the annual contest will conduct the orchestra this spring. Every vote is a minimum of $2. Contestants will each choose a nonprofit to support during their campaigns. Half the money from each vote will go towards that charity. Jed Olson's campaign will raise money for Aura Trails.
We really bring the access to nature into our community. So La Crosse area is just blessed with great access to natural spaces and wonderful parks and trails. And we do that work to keep those in great shape, develop more, and bring awareness and programming that gets people outside every single day.
We have the link to vote for your conductor wannabe on our digital platforms.
A La Crosse woman reached quite a milestone today. Shirley Hefty turned 100 years old. The Harry J. Olson Senior Center threw her a birthday party in celebration. The centenarian sharing her secrets to a long life with us.
Keep moving. Keep moving. If you want it or not, keep moving.
Well, it's bad for us. We're sitting down.
I know.
The event also serves as a fundraiser for a remodel of the senior center's bathroom. The goal is to raise $70,000 to make that space more accessible for seniors. So far, they have raised $57,000. A family still in search of their daughter who went missing during a spring break trip.
Hear from her parents as they struggle with the unknown. Coming up.
There's a lot of factors to consider deciding on the right vacuum. If you need a lightweight addition to your home to help in high-trafficked areas, then a cordless stick vac might be the option for you. Stop into A1 Vacuum Sales and Service to learn more.
At US Cellular, you don't have to choose between a great deal on the phone you want and the phone plan that's right for you. You can get both. 4 free phones of your choice and 4 lines for just $90.
Wow, kids, that's like us not having to choose between tickets to wrestling or that puppet musical.
We want a great phone and a great plan too, don't we, little guy? Totally.
Get both. 4 free phones of your choice plus 4 lines for $90. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's spring jeans sale is going on now, and we have a great selection of quality name brand denim at unbeatable prices. Right now, get a free $20 Blaine's gift card with every $100 purchase of men's or women's Ariat jeans. In our service center, select tires are buy 3, get 1 free for rewards members. And get our best tire price promise. Find a lower price and we'll match it. We've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free. All because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There's a lot of factors to consider deciding on the right vacuum. If your space is mostly large areas and multiple surfaces, then an upright vacuum might be suited for your needs. Stop into A1 Vacuum Sales and Service to learn more.
A young man granted his freedom, a family deep in grief, and an American college student still missing hundreds of miles from home.
It's a mystery that's captured worldwide attention and one no closer to being solved. Laura Aguirre reports.
Heavy. Nana.
A mother's anguish.
We kindly ask you to keep our daughter in your prayers.
And a father's painful resignation that he may never see his daughter again. 20-year-old Sadiqa Kananki vanished March 6th in the Dominican Republic while on spring break. Her last known sighting captured on resort security cameras in Punta Cana as she walked to the beach with friends. The man investigators believe was the last person to see her, Joshua Ribby, was granted his freedom by a Dominican judge Tuesday. Authorities confiscated his passport and questioned him several times, but have never called him a suspect or accused him of wrongdoing. A local Dominican news outlet reports Ribby told prosecutors he and Kananki went to the beach after drinking with friends, where they struggled in the rough waves. He says they both got out, and he last saw her walking in knee-deep water before he fell asleep on the beach. He woke up hours later, he said, alone.
We are coming to the terms with the fact that our daughter has drowned.
Kananki's parents believe their daughter drowned and have asked authorities to formally declare her dead so they can move ahead legally and emotionally.
This is incredibly difficult for us to process.
Ribby's Dominican lawyer celebrating the judge's ruling Tuesday.
Not only as an essential principle of justice, but also as a cornerstone of trust in our institutions.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The FBI has also updated its online travel advisory system, warning spring breakers to be cautious when visiting a foreign country. They suggest a few tips to help travelers feel more safe and secure. Among those, avoid traveling alone, use authorized taxis, and beware of new acquaintances. You can find the latest travel advisory list at travel.state.gov.
We will have more news ahead.
But first,
hopefully, yes, the snow will eventually come to an end tonight, and then, yeah, the first day of spring is on Thursday. Unfortunately, it's not going to feel like the first day of spring. We got warmer temperatures maybe Friday. We maybe have another shot of snow coming later the weekend. We'll break all that down coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
There's been a lot of talk about this Supreme Court race, but here's what's really at stake. Brad Schimmel wants to make sure women don't have the right to make their own health care decisions. If he wins, that right is gone. I'm Susan Crawford, a former prosecutor, a common sense judge, and a mom. And I trust women to make their own healthcare decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Pivot! Shut up! Pivot! Shut up! Shut up! Pivot! Shut up! Pivot! Shut up! Pivot! Shut up! Okay, hold on. I don't think it's gonna pivot anymore.
Just like pivoting from heating to cooling season, it's a difficult adjustment. Pivot in the summer, called GNT.
Pivot! Shut up!
Called GNT. For the best heating and air conditioning, guaranteed.
Tax refund season is here, and Wesco on Sparta is making it more fun than ever. Dreaming of a brand new sectional or that comfy bed you've been eyeing? Now's the time to treat yourself. Save 20% all month long on furniture and bedding, just in time to make your home the talk of the group chat. Have fun with your tax refund and make your space shine with Wesco and Sparta. Your home, your style, your savings, your Wesco. Tell them Peyton sent you.
This is Curtis O'Brien, a convicted felon. He sexually assaulted a 5-year-old Wisconsin girl multiple times. Judge Susan Crawford could have given him 60 years in prison, but she let him walk. 2 years in prison. That's it. While his victim lives with the scars forever. She even let the predator live across the street from an elementary school. That was Crawford's choice. Another dangerous decision from Susan Crawford. Put putting all our kids at risk. She's just wrong for Wisconsin.
Yeah, quite a bit of snow here for March. We can see quite a few winter events in March, and sometimes they can be big blockbuster snow events. But it's a very narrow area that usually gets the snow, and that's what kind of happened with this one. Right now, the good news is if you look at Hoka, Kellogg, ignore the visibility. That is incorrect. They're actually not seeing any snow anymore. Road conditions are just mainly wet right now. Eau Claire, we're looking at just mainly wet. They had about a little bit more of an inch of snow on the ground now, but pretty much the snow has come to an end. We're still seeing snow here, but look at the temperatures too. Overall, still above freezing, so that certainly helps right now with road conditions. Once the snow tapers off, they mainly become wet fairly quickly too. Snow will come to an end by 10 p.m. or earlier, depending on location. Some have already seen it pretty much ended. Icy roads with the temperatures going below freezing tonight. Especially side roads, any protected areas could see that become icy, given that if they're not treated, we're going to fall below freezing for the Thursday morning. It won't last long. Now, temperatures will warm up for Friday. Some areas will get back into the 50s. We have a cold front coming through, so maybe a shower in the afternoon or evening. A very slight chance on that, a very narrow line, and I'll show you what I mean in a second here. But here's basically the snow and the visibility. You notice a lot of visibility is approaching 10 down to the west of La Crosse. We're up above 1 to 2 miles, so it's just a matter of getting this last little line to come through here, which is getting fairly close. And then we'll really be done with the accumulating snow with just some lingering snow showers to contend with. Really to the south here, everyone is now switched over all the way down to Richland County, so the snow will continue here and push off to the east. Probably not until 10 they'll see that begin to break up too. If we kind of track it, by the time we get to about 7 or 8, it's all the way down to southwest Wisconsin. The rest of the area is just seeing cloud cover. Gusty winds, they will continue to be gusts out of the north all throughout the night. And then it's just a matter of watching the temperatures continue to fall. And it's not till after, I think, 1 to 2 that you'll start seeing them really get below freezing. And as you wake up, you'll see these temperatures now in the mid-20s, upper 20s. So that will refreeze stuff that's not protected. If it's treated, it may be okay, but certainly something to keep in mind up for the morning commute. That wind will be still kind of breezy in the morning with that northwest wind. Temperatures tomorrow, more in the 40s, getting closer to average. We should be in the mid to upper 40s at this point, so probably closer to average up to further to the north, not so much to the south. And if we have snow on the ground, it might keep these temperatures a little bit colder than they would otherwise be. Now going into Friday morning, our temperatures are going to turn around. The winds will turn around from the south. So as you wake up, we'll see more in the upper 20s to low 30s. So that's good news. It will be milder for Friday. That corresponds to a little bit milder temperatures in the afternoon. Low to mid 50s. There is a cold front coming through, but we should see some decent temperatures here for your end of the week before that front comes through. And if we track it out, it's a very narrow line of precipitation that may form a few showers, probably between about 5 to about 8. It's going to come through the area. So just a brief amount of period of time, you might see a shower. By the time we get to 9 or 10, everything's pushed off to the east. And Friday into Saturday should be dry, but kind of colder too. Now, I mentioned more snow. Yeah, Sunday night into Monday, we'll have to keep an eye. Right now, the track keeps the majority of the snow to the north, but there's still a decent shot to see some snow. Whether we see 3 to 4 inches or more kind of depends on the track and how it plays out. But Monday morning's commute could be impacted by another snow event. So if you have plans Sunday afternoon through Monday morning, keep an eye on the forecast too, because we could see, especially further north, another system come through. More rain, more needed rain, but still the snow could come back. Otherwise, you look at the temperatures, it's a pretty cool week going throughout the next 7 to 8 days, although our average by the end of the 8-day forecast should be in the upper 40s. We're not going to see many 50s, a lot of 60s in the forecast or anything like that, along with keeping an eye on that Sunday night through Monday for the next chance of potentially accumulating snow too. So March is here, so
I was going to say classic March.
Yeah, we'll be getting close to the 1st of April here soon, and April can still have some snow events too, so
Sure does.
something to keep an eye on too.
All right, thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, bucking the trend. Milwaukee tries to get things figured out on the West Coast. Plus, the stage is set for the opening round of tournament games tomorrow in Denver. Hear what the Badgers know about their first opponent. Jacob is next.
Proper installation of your new windows make a difference. The team at Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions are factory trained to make sure your windows are installed to last. Call or stop into the showroom for your free estimate.
Knutson Roofing, locally owned with 20 years of experience to get your project done right the first time. Whether it's roofing, window, or siding installation, we offer reliable, dependable, and quality work we stand behind. Knutson Roofing. Call or visit us online today.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up, by the fire, or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Growing up in Chippewa Falls, we had some tough times. My little sister was born with special needs, so I became her protector. And when my dad was laid off, we all had to step up. Along the way, I learned a lot about hard work, common sense, and most of all, what it means to look out for people. I'm Susan Crawford, and looking out for people is why I became a prosecutor and a judge. And it's what I'll do every day on the Supreme Court.
Knutson Roofing, locally owned with 20 years of experience to get your project done right the first time. Whether it's roofing, window, or siding installation, we offer reliable, dependable, and quality work we stand behind. Knutson Roofing. Call or visit us online today.
Covering all the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
Well, tomorrow marks the beginning of the first round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. The madness is almost here, but the Badgers are hoping there's no crazy upset with their matchup against Montana. Wisconsin is 40-26 all-time in the NCAA tournament. They've reached 10 Sweet 16s and 4 Final Fours. It's not the first meeting between these two teams, as the Badgers downed Montana 73-49 in the first round of games back in the 2012 tournament. UW isn't taking their opponent lightly, but if they play their game, the round of 32 should be well within reach.
Like most mid-majors, they got a lot of shooters. They're a little undersized, but from what we saw, they play really hard. Obviously, they're a really talented team. I don't know how many they rattled off to end the season, but it was double digits, I think. But I think it's more about us than anything, and that's not just against Montana. I think that's against whoever we play. So we're just more focused on us and where we can get better. So.
And tip-off is scheduled for 12:30 on TNT. The winner will take on 11th-seeded VCU and 6th-seeded BYU on Saturday. Well, it's been a rough stretch lately for the Bucks as they dropped their 5th game in their last 7 to the Warriors last night, 104-93. After a big third quarter to get it to 2 points, the offense looked out of sorts in the final quarter, an issue that Doc Rivers says needs to get figured out sooner rather than later.
We don't have the right space, and the ball's not moving. We're not attacking. We're not getting to the paint. I got a whole list, but we got to do it, and I got to get them to do it. That's my job, and it's on me. It's my job to get them to do it offensively and to trust.
And things do not get much easier for Milwaukee as they have 4 more games on the West Coast, including games against the Nuggets and Lakers, who are 3rd and 4th in the Western Conference. And it appears as though Aaron Rodgers will not be completing the same career path as Brett Favre did years ago. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reporting today that the Vikings are not pursuing Rodgers and are instead moving forward with J.J. McCarthy, their 2024 first-round pick. Now, he suffered a meniscus injury in a preseason game last year, which ended his season. And it's reported that Minnesota is in the market for a veteran quarterback, but it will not be the former Packer. Pelissero said this just leaves the Giants and Steelers for options as Rodgers. So we will see what happens there.
Is that the brother of Christian McCarthy? Are they related?
You're thinking of Christian McCaffrey, probably.
There you go. That's a different guy.
Who does have siblings in the NFL.
He does. He has a brother, Luke, that's a wide receiver
Luke on the Commanders.
So,
that's right.
Hopefully, we'll see where Rodgers lands, but excited for the tournament tomorrow, and hopefully no crazy upsets for the Badgers. So.
No, let's go all the way to the Final Four.
Let's do it.
Let's go. I've got my shirt. I'm going to wear it tomorrow.
Oh,
I have a shirt.
There you go.
Go Badgers. All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Meeting you locally where you are online. Stay updated while you scroll. Follow us on Instagram at WKBT News 8.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free, all because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If your home was looking drab, trade it in. Trade it in. The furniture's old and yucky, trade it in. Trade it in. If you're seeking a solution, then King's your resolution. If you're tired of your look, then trade it in. Trade it in.
At King's Trade-In Sale, trade in your old recliner for $50 towards a new one. Trade in your old sofa for $100. Trade in your old mattress for $75. Plus, get free delivery and 12 months no-interest payments at the King Furniture Trade-In Sale. Trade it in!
I think every natural instinct of a parent is to protect their children. It's terrifying that Susan Crawford would consider a 4-year sentence appropriate for raping a child. Honestly, I can't even wrap my head around it. That she would allow a child rapist to walk free. My worst nightmare as a mom, it's really disqualifying. I don't think Susan Crawford deserves to wear the rope.
All right, good news. That last line of snow coming through is getting very close to La Crosse. It's actually south of Black River Falls almost now, too. So maybe about another hour, and then snow accumulation will be done with. Don't forget the roads tomorrow morning. Icy definitely as we go below freezing. Cool for the first day of spring on Thursday, but the 50s do come back on Friday, minus that little small chance of rain maybe in the afternoon. So overall, that's good. And don't forget, Sunday night and a Monday, another opportunity, especially going to Monday morning, we might have some more snow to deal with. More details on that.
Yeah, I was going to say we're almost done with getting through it today, but a couple days from now, it'll be very similar.
Another one, yeah.
That's how it goes. Thanks so much for joining us tonight at 6.
And we'll see you at 10.